The Christmas Eve dinner at my parents' estate was exactly as I'd expected. Excessive, expensive, and designed to showcase my brother Derek's success while highlighting my apparent failure. Crystal champagne flutes lined the mahogany table. The centerpiece was an elaborate arrangement of white roses and gold-dusted pine cones that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. My mother had hired a private chef who was currently plating the third course of our 7-course meal. I sat at the far end of the table in a simple black dress, while everyone else sparkled in designer holiday attire. Derek held court at my father's right hand, wearing a custom Tom Ford suit and a Rolex that caught the candlelight with every gesture. The Singapore deal closed yesterday, Derek announced, swirling his wine. 42 million. The firm is calling it the deal of the year. My father beamed with pride. That's my boy. A real businessman. Built his career from the ground up at one of the most prestigious corporate law firms in the city. Hardly from the ground up, Dad, Derek said with false modesty. You did introduce me to half the partners at the country club. Networking is a skill, my mother said. You capitalized on opportunities. That's what successful people do. My sister-in-law Amanda, Derek's wife of 3 years, touched his arm adoringly. He works so hard. 80-hour weeks sometimes. But that's what it takes to make senior partner before 40. Partnership announcement is coming in March, Derek said confidently. My billable hours are 30% higher than any other associate. It's practically guaranteed. My Uncle Richard raised his glass. To Derek, the pride of the Morrison family. Everyone drank. No one looked at me. The chef placed the next course in front of us. Some kind of deconstructed duck with microgreens and a reduction sauce. My phone buzzed in my purse. I ignored it. So, Emma, my Aunt Caroline said, finally acknowledging my existence. How's the receptionist job going? It's going well, I said calmly, cutting into my duck. Derek snorted. Still answering phones in the lobby? Got it. You're 30 years old. At least you have a job, I guess. The table tittered with polite laughter. What company is it again? Amanda asked, her tone suggesting she already knew and found it amusing. Meridian Solutions, I said. Never heard of it, Derek said dismissively. Some small firm, I assume. Can't be very important if they have their receptionist working on Christmas Eve. I'm not working today, I said. But you're always on your phone, my mother said with a sigh. Even at family dinner. Shrewd Emma. Whatever calls your screening can wait. You're right, I said, placing my phone face down on the table. I apologize. Derek leaned back in his chair, warming to his subject. You know what Emma's problem is? No ambition. She could have gone to law school like me, but she chose some liberal arts degree. Philosophy was it. Economics and business administration, I corrected quietly. From Wharton. Same difference, Derek waved his hand. Useless degree. You should have networked more, made connections. Instead you're answering phones while I'm closing multimillion-dollar deals. My father nodded sadly. We did try to help you, Emma. I offered to introduce you to people in my business circles. You always declined. I appreciated the offers, I said. I wanted to build my career independently. And look where that got you, my mother said. A receptionist at 30. Meanwhile, Derek is on track for senior partner at Morrison, Hart & Associates. Actually, it's Morrison, Hart, Davidson and Lee now, Derek corrected. They added Lee last month after the Seoul office expansion. I'm heading up the international division. More congratulations flowed around the table. My younger cousin Michael, who'd just graduated college, looked at Derek with open admiration. That's what I want, Michael said. Real success. Corner office, expense account, respect. Then don't be like Emma, Derek said laughing. Don't settle for answering someone else's phone calls. Be the person making the calls that matter. Amanda touched her napkin to her lips delicately. Emma, have you considered going back to school? Maybe getting a real degree? It's not too late to salvage your career. I'm content with my position, I said. Content, Derek repeated mockingly. That's exactly the problem. You're content with mediocrity. Winners are never content. They always want more, achieve more, become more. Derek's right, my father said. Complacency is the enemy of success. You need to have drive, ambition, the hunger to reach the top. My phone buzzed again. And again. 3 messages in quick succession. Your receptionist job needs you? Derek asked sarcastically. What's the emergency? Someone can't figure out how to transfer a call. I glanced at my phone screen. 3 messages from Marcus Chin, CEO of Meridian Solutions. Marcus, board meeting moved to 7 a.m. tomorrow. Need your approval on the acquisition documents. Marcus, also the Times wants a quote for the year-end profile piece. Should I have PR handle it or do you want to respond directly? Marcus, sorry to bother you on Christmas Eve, boss. I typed back quickly. Approve the acquisition. Have PR send me the draft response I'll review tonight. Seriously, Emma? My mother said. Put the phone away. This is family time. Sorry, I said again, setting it down. Derek smirked. Let me guess. Your boss needed you to order office supplies? Or maybe someone spilled coffee in the lobby and you need to call the cleaning service. The table laughed. Even my father chuckled. Something like that, I said neutrally. This is what I don't understand, Amanda said, leaning forward. You went to a decent school, you're reasonably intelligent, you come from a good family. How did you end up as a receptionist? What happened? Nothing happened, I said. I chose my path. A path to nowhere, Derek said. I'm going to be honest because I care about you. You're embarrassing the family. Do you know what my colleagues say when they ask about my sister and I have to tell them you're a receptionist? It reflects poorly on all of us. I'm sorry you feel embarrassed, I said. You should be sorry, my mother added. We raised you with every advantage. Private schools, tutors, college fund. And you wasted all to answer phones. Uncle Richard tried to be helpful. Emma, I have connections in the HR departments of several mid-level firms. I could probably get you an interview for an actual position. Entry-level but better than reception. Thank you, but I'm happy where I am, I said. Happy, Derek scoffed. What's your salary, Em? 30,000? 40? I made that in bonuses alone last quarter. Derek, my father said, though he was smiling. Don't be crass about money. I'm just making a point, Derek said. Success is measurable. My salary is $340,000 base, plus bonuses that usually run another $200,000. That's more than $500,000 a year. What are you making, Em? I took a sip of water. I don't discuss my salary. Because it's embarrassingly low, Amanda said sympathetically. It's okay, Emma. We all start somewhere. Derek's first year as an associate, he only made $160,000. Only, I repeated softly. The point is he advanced, my mother said. He worked hard, networked, made himself indispensable. You could do the same if you just tried. The chef brought out the next course. Some kind of lobster preparation that looked like it belonged in a food magazine. My phone buzzed again. I glanced down. Marcus, hate to keep bothering you, but the journal wants to confirm the revenue numbers for the annual report. Can I give them the Q4 projections? I typed back. Yes, but make sure they note those are projections, not confirmed figures. Don't want any accuracy issues. Unbelievable, Derek said. She literally cannot stop checking her phone. Emma, what is so important that you're ignoring your family on Christmas Eve? Just work matters, I said. Work matters, he repeated. You're a receptionist. What work matters could you possibly have? Is someone calling the main line on Christmas Eve and you're worried about it? Derek, leave her alone, my cousin Sarah said quietly. She'd always been kind to me. No, I won't leave her alone, Derek said, his voice rising slightly. He'd had several glasses of wine. Someone needs to give her a reality check. She's wasting her life and everyone's too polite to say it. I don't think I'm wasting my life, I said calmly. Then you're delusional, Derek shot back. Do you know where I was last Christmas Eve? Dinner with Senator Morrison and his family. That's the level I operate at. Meanwhile, you're probably eating lunch in some depressing break room with other support staff. Derek, Amanda said, touching his arm. Maybe that's enough. It's not enough, Derek insisted. I love my sister, which is why this kills me. She had potential. She could have been something. And instead she's a 30-year-old receptionist with no prospects, no ambition, and apparently no pride. The table had gone quiet. Even my father looked slightly uncomfortable. I have plenty of pride, I said softly. Just not in the things you value. What do you value? Derek challenged. Making $40,000 a year? Having zero authority? Being the first person fired when the company needs to cut costs? Derek, my father said. Perhaps we should change the subject. No, I want to hear this, Derek said, looking at me intently. What do you value, Emma? What makes your receptionist job so fulfilling that you're willing to be the family embarrassment? I met his eyes. I value doing work that matters. Building something real. Making decisions that impact people's lives positively. Derek laughed loudly. Making decisions? You're a receptionist. You don't make decisions. You follow them. You're at the absolute bottom of the corporate hierarchy. Everyone has their place, I said. And yours is at the bottom, Derek agreed. Look, I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm trying to wake you up. You're 30 years old. If you don't make a change now, this is your life. Forever. Is that really what you want? Before I could answer, my phone rang. Not a text, an actual call. I glanced at the screen. Marcus Chin. Don't you dare answer that, my mother said sharply. I apologize, but I need to take this, I said, standing up. Emma Morrison, if you walk away from this table, my father started. I was already walking toward the foyer, phone to my ear. Marcus, what's wrong? I'm so sorry to call on Christmas Eve, Marcus said, sounding stressed. But we have a situation. The Henderson merger. Their CEO wants to move the signing to tomorrow morning. Christmas Day. He's flying to Tokyo tomorrow night and wants this locked down before he leaves. Henderson Industries? I asked, my mind already calculating. The $3.2 billion acquisition? That's the one, Marcus confirmed. But here's the problem. Their legal team is insisting on meeting in person for the signing. They want to come to our headquarters. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. On Christmas Day, I said. I know it's insane, Marcus said. But Henderson is firm. If we don't sign tomorrow, they're walking and going with the Blackstone offer instead. Emma, we've worked on this for 18 months. We can't lose it now. I thought quickly. Where are you now? At my mother-in-law's in Connecticut, he said. I can be back in the city in 2 hours. Who else can we get? Most of the executive team is out of state, Marcus said. Sarah's in Aspen, David's in the Caribbean, Jennifer's in California. I can probably pull together a skeleton crew, but Emma Henderson's people will expect to meet with you. You're the chairman. They'll want your signature on the documents. I'm at my parents' house in Greenwich, I said. I can be at headquarters in 45 minutes. Are you sure? Marcus asked. It's Christmas Eve. Your family will survive without me, I said. Set it up. Call Henderson's CEO and confirm. 9 a.m. tomorrow at our headquarters. You're a lifesaver, Marcus said, relief evident in his voice. I'll coordinate everything. I hung up and returned to the dining room. Everyone was staring at me. Everything all right? Sarah asked. Work emergency, I said, picking up my purse. I need to leave. My mother's face went red. Absolutely not. We're in the middle of Christmas dinner. I'm sorry, but this can't wait, I said. What can't wait? Derek demanded. Did someone forget how to work the phone system? Does the lobby Christmas tree need watering? It's a business matter, I said simply. A business matter, Derek repeated incredulously. You're a receptionist. You don't have business matters. You have phone calls to transfer and visitors to sign in. Nevertheless, I need to go, I said. My father stood up. Emma, sit down. Whatever this is, it can wait until after the holidays. It really can't, I said. This is ridiculous, my mother said. You're being incredibly disrespectful. We planned this dinner for weeks. And I appreciate it, I said. But I have responsibilities. Derek laughed harshly. Responsibilities? You're a receptionist. Your responsibility is to sit at a desk and smile. It's not like you're closing a major deal or managing a crisis. Your support staff, Emma. Replaceable, forgettable support staff. Derek, Sarah said sharply. That's enough. It's not enough, Derek insisted. She's walking out on Christmas dinner for a job that doesn't matter. For a position with zero importance. She needs to understand how pathetic this is. I looked at him calmly. I understand you see it that way. Because it is that way, Derek said. You know what? Fine. Go answer your phones. Run back to your little lobby desk. Meanwhile, those of us with real careers will enjoy dinner. Enjoy, I said, heading toward the door. My mother called after me, "If you leave now, Emma, don't bother coming to New Year's. We're done accommodating your nonsense." I paused at the doorway. I understand. Merry Christmas, everyone. I walked out to my car, a modest Honda Civic that Derek had mocked when I arrived. "Couldn't even spring for a luxury car on your receptionist's salary?" he'd said. The truth was I owned 6 cars. The Civic for low-profile situations, a Tesla Model S for regular use, a Range Rover for winter, a Porsche 911 for fun, and 2 vintage cars in climate-controlled storage. But Derek didn't need to know that. I drove toward the city, calling my assistant on the way. "Jennifer," I said when she answered. "Sorry to interrupt your holiday." "No problem, Ms. Morrison," she said. She was my executive assistant, one of the few people who knew exactly who I was. "What do you need?" "Henderson merger is happening tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. at headquarters. I need you to activate the building, get security in place, prep the main conference room, and coordinate catering for approximately 20 people. On Christmas Day," she said. "Challenge accepted. Anything else? Make sure the signing documents are ready and the legal team has reviewed every clause. This needs to be flawless." "Consider it done," Jennifer said. "I'll have everything ready by 8:30 a.m. "You're amazing," I said. "Triple overtime for everyone who comes in tomorrow." "They'll appreciate that," she said. "See you in the morning, boss." I arrived at Meridian Solutions headquarters at 11 p.m. The building was a gleaming 40-story tower in Midtown Manhattan, our company name illuminated at the top. I parked in my reserved spot in the executive garage and took my private elevator to the executive floor. Marcus was already there, looking stressed but determined. "Emma, thank God. Henderson's team confirmed for 9 a.m. They're bringing 8 people including their CEO." "Good," I said, walking into my office, a corner suite with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. "Where are we on due diligence?" We worked through the night, reviewing documents, confirming financial projections, and ensuring every detail of the $3.2 billion acquisition was perfect. By 8 a.m. I'd changed into a fresh suit I kept in my office and was ready. Jennifer had outdone herself. The main conference room was impeccable. Fresh flowers, catered breakfast spread, signing documents perfectly organized, our legal team assembled and briefed. At 8:45 a.m. building security called. "Ms. Morrison, Henderson's team is in the lobby." "Send them up," I said. The elevator doors opened and 8 people emerged, led by James Henderson himself, CEO of Henderson Industries. He was a silver-haired man in his 60s, known for being difficult but fair. "Mr. Henderson," I said, extending my hand. "Welcome. Thank you for making time on Christmas Day." "Ms. Morrison," he said, shaking firmly. "When you're closing a $3.2 billion deal, holidays become suggestions rather than obligations." I smiled. "Shall we?" The signing took 3 hours. Every document was reviewed, every clause examined, every concern addressed. Finally, at noon on Christmas Day, James Henderson signed the final page. "Congratulations," he said, shaking my hand. "You've acquired a great company. I expect you'll do remarkable things with it." "We will," I assured him. "Henderson Industries has an incredible legacy. We'll honor that while positioning for future growth." After they left, Marcus collapsed into a chair. "We did it. $3.2 billion. Our biggest acquisition ever." "Third biggest," I corrected. "Don't forget the TechWave acquisition last year and the Morrison Financial deal in 2019. He laughed. "How do you keep track?" "It's my job," I said simply. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. "Your brother is right. You're an embarrassment to this family. Don't contact us again until you get your priorities straight." I deleted it and returned to work. The news broke on December 26th. Meridian Solutions acquires Henderson Industries in $3.2 billion deal. The business press went wild. Henderson was a century-old manufacturing company with contracts across 3 continents. The acquisition made Meridian Solutions one of the largest privately held companies in America. My phone rang constantly with interview requests, congratulations from business partners, and questions from industry analysts. I ignored most of them, letting our PR team handle it. But one call I did take, from Derek. Emma. His voice sounded strange. I just saw the news about Meridian Solutions. Yes. I said, reviewing a contract. The Henderson acquisition, he continued. That's your company? I'm the founder and chairman, yes, I said. Silence. Derek. You founded Meridian Solutions? His voice was hollow. 9 years ago, I confirmed. Started with $2 million from my inheritance from Grandma Morrison, the one who left you nothing because you insulted her at her birthday party. Grew it into what it is today. Which is what exactly? He asked weakly. As of the Henderson acquisition, we're valued at approximately $8.4 billion, I said. We employ 12,000 people across 15 countries. Annual revenue is about $6.2 billion. We're the third largest privately held company in our sector. More silence. The receptionist thing, Derek finally said. At Christmas dinner. You said you work for Meridian Solutions. I do work for Meridian Solutions, I said. I own it. I founded it. I run it. But you said you were a receptionist. No, I corrected. Aunt Caroline assumed I was a receptionist. I said I worked for Meridian Solutions. You all assumed the rest. Why didn't you correct us? His voice was rising. Would you have believed me? I asked. You were so convinced I was a failure, so certain I was at the bottom. Would telling you I'm a billionaire chairman have changed anything? Or would you have just called me a liar? He had no answer. Here's the thing, Derek, I continued. You spent dinner mocking my supposed $40,000 salary. My actual compensation last year was $340 million between salary, bonuses, and equity. You bragged about closing a $42 million deal. I just closed a $3.2 billion acquisition on Christmas Day, which is why I had to leave dinner. Emma. You said I had no ambition, I continued. I built a company from nothing into an $8.4 billion enterprise. You said I embarrassed the family. The business press calls me one of the most successful entrepreneurs under 40. You said I was at the bottom of the corporate hierarchy. I am literally at the top of mine. I didn't know, he said weakly. You didn't ask, I corrected. You assumed. You all did. And when I tried to leave dinner for an actual business emergency, one worth billions of dollars, you called me pathetic. I could hear him breathing on the other end of the line. I need to go, I said. I have a company to run. Merry Christmas, Derek. I hung up. Within an hour my phone exploded. Calls and texts from every family member. Mom, Emma, we need to talk. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. Dad, I had no idea about your company. We should discuss this. Amanda, Emma, I'm so sorry about Christmas. Derek told me everything. Can we meet? Uncle Richard, proud of you, kiddo. Always knew you had it in you. I ignored them all except one, from Sarah. I knew you were more than you let on. Congratulations on the acquisition. Drinks next week. I responded, absolutely. I'll have my assistant coordinate. The interview requests intensified. Forbes wanted a cover story. The Wall Street Journal wanted an exclusive on the Henderson deal. Bloomberg wanted to profile my journey from startup to billion-dollar empire. I selected carefully, agreeing to a few strategic interviews that would position Meridian Solutions for our next phase of growth. The Forbes interview ran in February. The cover showed me in my office, the Manhattan skyline behind me. Emma Morrison, the billionaire you've never heard of. The article detailed everything. How I'd started Meridian Solutions at 21 with my inheritance, how I'd built it through strategic acquisitions and organic growth, how I deliberately maintained a low profile to avoid media scrutiny while I built the business. One quote I particularly liked. Morrison operates with a rare combination of ambition and humility. While other tech billionaires seek the spotlight, she's been quietly building one of America's most successful private companies. Her approach is simple. Hire the best people, empower them, and stay focused on long-term value creation rather than short-term publicity. The article also mentioned, almost as an aside, that my younger brother Derek was an associate at a mid-level corporate law firm. The reporter had clearly done their research and noted the irony. My parents called immediately after the Forbes issue hit newsstands. Emma, my mother said, her voice strained. We need to talk about this article. What about it? I asked, reviewing quarterly projections. It makes Derek look bad, she said. Mentioning him like that, comparing his career to yours. It's humiliating for him. I didn't mention Derek, I pointed out. The reporter included that detail on their own. You could have asked them to remove it, my father said. He was on speaker. Why would I do that? I asked. Because he's your brother, my mother said. Because family protects family. I set down my pen. Did Derek protect me at Christmas dinner? When he called me an embarrassment. When he said I was pathetic. When he mocked my supposed receptionist job in front of the entire family. Silence. Did you protect me? I continued. When you told me I was wasting my life. When you said I reflected poorly on the family. When you uninvited me to New Year's because I left dinner for a $3.2 billion business deal. We didn't know, my father said weakly. You didn't ask, I corrected, the same words I'd said to Derek. You assumed. You judged. You mocked. And you never once considered that maybe, just maybe, you didn't have the full picture. Emma, please, my mother said. We're your family. We made mistakes, but we love you. Do you? I asked quietly. Or do you love what I've accomplished? Would you be calling if Forbes hadn't put me on their cover? If I really were a receptionist making $40,000 a year, would you want to talk to me now? Neither answered. I need to go, I said. I have a meeting with the Singapore development team. Emma, wait, my father started. I hung up. Derek showed up at my office a week later. Building security called first. Ms. Morrison, there's a Derek Morrison in the lobby requesting to see you. Does he have an appointment? I asked. No, ma'am. He says he's your brother. I considered. Send him up. He arrived looking diminished somehow. The confident swagger from Christmas dinner was gone. He stood in my office doorway, taking in the view, the furniture, the obvious markers of success. This is quite an office, he said. Thank you, I said, not standing. What can I do for you, Derek? He sat down without being invited. I came to apologize. Okay. That's it, he asked. Just okay. What do you want me to say? I asked. You've apologized. I've acknowledged it. Is there something else? He looked uncomfortable. I was cruel at Christmas dinner. I said terrible things. I mocked you, belittled you, called you an embarrassment. And I was completely wrong. Yes, I agreed. You were. I didn't know. That I was successful? I interrupted. So if I really were a receptionist, your comments would have been acceptable? He flushed. No, that's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? I asked calmly. He struggled. I thought you were wasting your potential. I thought you'd given up. And that justified public humiliation? I asked. Mocking me in front of the entire family? Calling me pathetic? No, he admitted. Nothing justifies that. You're right, I said. It doesn't. We sat in silence. The firm wants me to try to establish a relationship with you, Derek finally admitted. They heard about Meridian Solutions. They want to pitch for your legal business. Ah, I said. There it is. That's not the only reason I'm here, Derek protested. Isn't it? I asked. Derek, be honest. If I were still the failure you thought I was at Christmas, would you be in my office right now? Or would you still be telling people about your embarrassing sister who never amounted to anything? He looked at his hands. That's what I thought, I said. Emma, please, he said. I know I don't deserve it, but can we start over? I was a terrible brother. I was arrogant and cruel. I judged you without knowing anything about your life. I'm sorry. I considered him. I accept your apology. His face brightened. Thank you. That means. But I don't forgive you, I continued. And Meridian Solutions already has excellent legal counsel. We won't be needing your firm's services. The brightness faded. Emma. You had 30 years to be a decent brother, I said. You chose to be a bully instead. You don't get to undo that because it's now convenient for your career. It's not about my career, he insisted. Isn't it? I asked. You just admitted your firm sent you here. You want something from me, Derek. Just like you've always wanted something. Admiration, validation, someone to feel superior to. I'm done providing that. He stood up. I really am sorry. I believe you're sorry you were wrong about me, I said. I believe you're sorry you embarrassed yourself. I believe you're sorry you can't use me for professional advancement. But I don't believe you're sorry for how you treated me. You're just sorry it backfired." He left without another word. My parents made several more attempts to reconnect. Dinner invitations, family event invitations, requests to talk about everything. I declined them all politely. The truth was they'd shown me exactly who they were. They'd spent 30 years treating me as less than, as the disappointing daughter, as the one who didn't measure up. They'd mocked me, dismissed me, and made it clear I was an embarrassment. And the moment they learned I was successful, the moment I became useful to them, suddenly they wanted a relationship. But I didn't need their validation anymore. I'd built something extraordinary without their support, without their approval, without their belief in me. Meridian Solutions was proof that their assessment of me had been completely wrong. I didn't need to prove anything to them. I'd already proved it to myself. 6 months after Christmas, I received an invitation to speak at my business school's graduation. The dean wanted me to give the commencement address, to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. I accepted. The speech was scheduled for a sunny May morning. 15,000 people filled the stadium. Graduates, families, faculty, staff. I stood at the podium in my doctoral robes. I'd completed my PhD in economics 3 years earlier, another thing my family hadn't known, looking out at the sea of faces. When I graduated from this school 12 years ago, my family told me I was wasting my potential. They said my degree was useless. They said I'd never amount to anything. I paused. They were wrong. But not because I proved them wrong. They were wrong because their metrics for success were fundamentally flawed. I talked about building Meridian Solutions. About the failures, the near bankruptcies, the moments of doubt. About persevering anyway, staying true to my vision, refusing to compromise my values for short-term gains. Success isn't about impressing people who never believed in you, I said. It's not about proving your worth to those who dismissed you. It's about defining your own metrics, your own goals, your own values, and then living according to them. The stadium was silent, everyone listening. Some of you will build billion-dollar companies, I continued. Some will become leaders in your fields. Some will change the world in ways we can't yet imagine. But some of you will choose quieter paths. You'll teach or serve or create art or raise families. And all of those paths are equally valid. I looked directly at the graduates. Don't let anyone, family, friends, society, tell you what success must look like. Define it yourself. And then pursue it relentlessly, regardless of who believes in you. The applause started slowly, then built to a standing ovation. After the ceremony, the dean pulled me aside. That was extraordinary, Emma. Thank you. My pleasure, I said. I noticed your family didn't attend, he said carefully. I believe we sent them invitations. They had other commitments, I said simply. He nodded, understanding in his eyes. Well, you have a family here. This institution is proud to call you an alumna. As I walked to my car, I passed a newsstand. The latest issue of Fortune magazine featured Meridian Solutions, the $10 billion company you've never heard of. We'd crossed $10 billion in valuation the previous quarter. The Henderson acquisition had been even more successful than projected, opening up markets we'd barely tapped before. My phone rang. Marcus. Emma, you're going to love this, he said, excitement in his voice. TechWorld wants to partner on the European expansion. They're proposing a joint venture worth $5 billion. Send me the preliminary terms, I said. I'll review tonight. You just gave a commencement speech, he protested. Take the afternoon off. I'll review tonight, I repeated, smiling. That's what chairmen do. I drove back to my apartment, a penthouse overlooking Central Park that I'd bought 2 years earlier. My sad little apartment had been a strategic choice, a place to live while building the company. This was the reward for that discipline. But the apartment wasn't what made me happy. Neither was the company valuation or the Forbes cover or the commencement speech. What made me happy was knowing I'd built something meaningful. I'd created 12,000 jobs. I'd developed products that improved lives. I'd proven that you could build a successful company while treating people with respect and dignity. I'd done it my way on my terms according to my values. And I'd done it without the support, approval, or belief of my family. That Christmas dinner seemed like a lifetime ago. The brother who'd mocked me was now scrambling to make partner, his career stagnating while mine soared. The parents who'd called me an embarrassment now tried desperately to claim credit for my success. But I didn't need their credit. I didn't need their apologies. I didn't need anything from them. I'd already won. Not because I'd proven them wrong, though I had. Not because I'd exceeded their expectations, though I'd exceeded them exponentially. I'd won because I'd defined success on my own terms and achieved it. And no amount of family drama could take that away. My phone buzzed one more time. A message from Sarah. Saw your speech online. Absolutely brilliant. Lunch this week? I smiled and typed back. Definitely. Name the day. Some family was worth keeping. The rest could stay in the rearview mirror where they belonged. I poured myself a glass of wine and stood at the window, looking out at the city I'd conquered. 30 years old and a billionaire chairman. Not bad for a receptionist,